Okay, in section 3 we are looking at biomes, which biomes are the land-based global communities of organisms, or basically the climax community of an area. So what sort of describes that area? When we talk about these 6 major biomes, there are a couple of things that sort of uh, tell us what that biome is. One thing is going to be the average temperature in the year. Another thing is going to be the amount of precipitation. And then the final thing that's going to sort of categorize biomes is most of the time it's going to be plant life. So the type of plants that you'd end up finding in the area. It can also be the animal life too, but again, most of the time it's going to be with the plant life. So a biome, again, is a major community of organisms. The 6 major biomes on the planet are the tropical rainforest, grasslands, which there's 2 different types, deserts, temperate forest, taiga, which is also known as the boreal forests, and the tundra. You have non-major ones that would be polar ice and mountain zones as well. So the tropical rainforest biome produces lush forest, has warm temperatures, and abundant precipitation all year long. It is going to be the most biodiversity that you'd end up finding in in any one of the biomes. And what you end up seeing over here is what's known as a climatograph or climatograph. It's showing both the temperature and the amount of precipitation. So the precipitation here is being shown to you in as a bar graph. So that's what you see right in the lower part of the deal, and it's the blue, and you can see over here on the left side it is showing the average precipitation, and it goes 0, 100, 200, and so on. And then over on the right side it is showing you the average temperature, and the temperature is represented as a line graph along the top of that graph. And I'm pointing this out to you because in the biome lab that we do, you're going to end up having to read these graphs, and I will explain in class how to do it, but I wanted you to be able to see it here as well. So that is a climatograph. So another biome, the grasslands. Grasslands are where the primary plant life is grass. And this one is showing Rapid City, South Dakota. You can see that the precipitation, you have periods of fairly low precipitation, and then May, June, July, April, you have a decent amount of precipitation, and then also during those months you end up seeing the temperature really increase as well in that area. So that is grasslands. And like I said before, there's 2 types of grasslands. You have temperate grasslands that are dry and warm during the summer, and most precipitation falls as snow. And that'd be what you'd find out west here. If you were to go west of Indiana, you'd end up finding temperate grasslands. Tropical grasslands are warm through the year, and they're going to have definite dry and rainy seasons. So this is going to be like what you'd find in Africa and things like that. Desert biomes. Desert biomes are characterized by being very arid climate, so that means very dry. Very low amount of precipitation. There's 4 types of of deserts. You've got hot deserts, semi-arid deserts, coastal deserts, and cold deserts. So this is one of the two types of biomes that have the least amount of precipitation. You can see that the very little amount of precipitation and the temperature is fairly high all year long in this one. This is Tucson, Arizona that we're looking at there in that graph. So that is the desert biome. So temperate forest biome includes deciduous forest and some rainforest. We live in the temperate deciduous forest biome. So the temperate deciduous forests have hot summers and cold winters. Deciduous trees are the dominant plant species, so deciduous means that it's going to be trees that lose their leaves. And right here you see Burlington, Vermont, but it's also Indiana. You see that the precipitation's pretty steady all year long, and the temperature gets fairly cold during the winter months, and then it ends up getting pretty warm during the summer months. So that is the temperate forest biome. So once again, the temperate forest biomes include the deciduous forests, and you've got here's pictures of those if you weren't sure what they look like. So the deciduous trees once again are the dominant plant. The temperate rainforests have long wet seasons and relatively dry summers. You would find a temperate rainforest like in the Pacific Northwest. Seattle, that type of area would be considered the temperate rainforest. So in those areas, you're going to have ferns and moss that are going to cover the forest floor. So the taiga biome is located in the cooler northern climates. It's also known as the boreal forest. Has long winters and short summers, and a small amount of precipitation. So here's a city in Canada. You can see not a whole lot of precipitation, and the temperatures don't get too warm, and they are pretty cold a good portion of the year. It's also known as the coniferous forest because of the conifer trees that they have there. So that is another name for the boreal forest or the taiga. The tundra is going to be found in the far northern latitudes. Winters last about 10 months. It's going to be limited precipitation. It's also known as the frozen desert. They're going to have permafrost, which is permanently frozen soil in these areas. And it's going to be not a whole lot of life in this area. And you can see, again, very little precipitation. Temperatures are pretty cold all year long, and that is Barrow, Alaska that they're showing you there. So you have minor biomes such as the chaparral. They're going to occur globally in a smaller scale. So certain areas in California are considered the chaparral. Mediterranean, that would be chaparral as well. Other minor ones would be the polar ice caps. They have no soil, so therefore no plant community. The climate and organisms found on mountains change as the elevation changes as well, so that's another minor one too. So that concludes the notes over section 3.